Hello, what's going on, everybody? All right, let me go ahead and bring up Midwest because Midwest is here with us again today. What's going on, Midwest?
Yo, what's poppin', everybody?
Happy Friday! Happy Friday!
Yeah, for sure. Happy
How,
Friday.
how's your Friday going? Because I know mine has been busy.
Yeah, I'm good. I get super nervous, like I was telling you earlier. My
Mm,
son's playing, and his team are playing for the championship in their league tomorrow. So, and I'm coaching them. So I'm
oof.
stressful because I'm just
Yeah,
playing things over and over in my head, getting everything prepared mentally. What's up, Taylor? Hey, Mari.
yeah, that's no
Kaya
joke.
Stone here. BGL. How y'all doing? Coyote.
We got.
Coyote.
What up, y'all? What's going on? I hope. Yeah, I bought a new mattress. So I
Nice.
used to
That's
have a.
always a good feeling.
Yeah, and it's a bigger one, so I got a queen size. So I'm just like now I gotta move
Okay.
stuff around. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, my room was like I was rocking with because when I first moved to this apartment,
Yeah,
I spent the money on my kids' mattress. So I never got to
naturally.
upgrade mine. So I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buy myself a better mattress because my back was not having it no more. It
Yeah.
was done. That's all right. I got myself a bigger mattress. So I'm waiting for that to come. My frame came and I was fighting with that. So I
Mm-hmm.
just been like I was like, let me hop off and do this so we can do this live and then I'll be going back to decorating and stuff. But I hope you guys are having a great week. It's been a long one. I dropped a few videos, so if you haven't gone and seen those, that's go head over there and watch those. I think I'll link them in the description. But they're like compilations, TikTok compilations. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, what's going on, John? We got BGO, we got Giant Stonehead, Marty, we got Taylor,
What's up, Crinkle Heart?
Ren, we got JoJo. What's going on, JoJo? Giant Stonehead says, should have seen me wrestling my stupid defective treadmill back into his box last night so I could return it. Oh my
That's
god,
funny.
the
Yeah,
sucker is
treadmills
heavy.
are the worst, dude.
I
And
have
require
a
maintenance.
walking pad. If you could get a walking pad, I like those.
I can't fuck with them. I got bad knees.
Really?
I have to have
Oh
no
yeah,
contact
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm working with no ACL in my left knee right now,
Oh,
and I'm
okay,
not gonna
yeah.
repair it. I'm just gonna wait till I turn 50 and get a new knee. So fuck it.
I mean, I don't blame you. I work for an organization. Yeah, I work for an organization that works on desegregating schools. Ooh,
Nice.
Midwest got crinkle knees.
I can still outrun most people I know. That shit has just swelled the fuck up afterwards.
Giant Stonehead said, I'm thinking about a role where we will see if my back likes it.
Hey,
I think those are really good, right? For the
if you can afford it, get a Concept 2. It's the same one that they use to qualify for the Olympics on, and this shit is like there's no equal to it. It's amazing. It
really.
holds its value. I bought one for like whatever. I'm not gonna say how much I bought it for because who cares. But I got like 85% of what I paid for it back, and that was after
Oh
having it for
wow.
like fucking 7 years or something like that.
Wow. I showed Minnie's dad you meet your padre video because he hasn't heard the song and I think his Cuban half died. Yo, that song is so disrespectful. Have you heard the Meet Your Padre song from Drake? Oh
Nah.
my god.
Who's
I
he
can't.
disrespecting first?
You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna show
Oh, you
you
gotta
just the
play it?
beginning, just the very beginning.
Okay, I gotta look
I
at
can't
this.
play the whole song. It is the most egregious thing
When did this
like
come
he
out?
could have done on this album. It just came out on his new album. It is the worst. It is the worst. Hold on. I'm gonna just play the audio.
Okay.
Benny's, how old are you, Midwest? Benny, how
Oh,
old are you, Midwest?
guess. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 43. I'll be 44 in July.
Oh, all right. Look
Like
at
no
you.
crack.
Yeah, because you don't look out of your 30s. You don't.
Yeah, most likely people will say that.
Yeah. All right. Listen to. I'm not gonna bring it up on screen, but I'm gonna just play it. Listen to this. Just this very first. This beginning. Wait, can you? Oh, no, I didn't even add it. Hold on. God damn it. Hold on.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it.
Oh, all right. Let me go back. It's all right. You didn't miss nothing. All right. Hey, let me do it.
I want to meet your madre, pay my respects to your padre, mi amor. Bonita, bien lo sabe.
That's
What the fuck?
Yo, that's everybody's reaction to that one piece. It's like, wait, what? What is he doing? It is so disrespectful, yo.
Get your fucking Temu Antonio Banderas sounding ass out of here.
that was Drake, John. That's Drake's one of his new songs, "Meet Your Padre." Oh my god,
Old
that's
Drakey. He is crashing
Duolingo
the
is
fuck
gonna
out.
pull up on Drake.
Duolingo diss track coming soon.
Watch. Next thing you know, Duolingo gonna be doing the Super Bowl. Like Drake is just gonna be getting dog walked for the next decade. It's so bad. But speaking of bad things, um, Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah was on a podcast. I think it was. I don't know
I
if it
think it's
was
his
his.
podcast.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was his
because
podcast.
the lady is a guest on his podcast.
Okay, so he had his podcast and he introduced the question of whether or not integration was a good thing to happen in America.
Mhm.
And so the original video that we were going to watch was from Dr. Rashad Ritchie, who put it together, which is an excellent video. But then as I searched for the video, I came across this bobblehead. And
You have a picture
I
of that
was
dude
like,
what is it, regular time or not regular time, the regular show
uh-uh.
with the bird and the raccoon. You never seen that shit?
No,
I'm gonna show you.
no.
I'm gonna send you a picture. Just keep
All
pushing.
right.
I got it.
So I see that he also went over the video. So I was like, all right, we gotta watch this one. This is a better one because I know he's gonna say some dumb shit. So let's get into it. Wait, no, actually, we'll talk about it afterwards. I think it's better.
Is race obsessed. So Trevor Noah recently had a guest, a Princeton professor by the name of Ruha Benjamin, who suggests that desegregating our schools was not the right solution. Now, understand that the left has always been against integration. They've always been pro-segregation, and they are today. Do you know we have black-only dormitories on campuses across the country? That we have black-only graduation ceremonies? The left has fiercely wants resegregation. They want whites only and blacks only. It's part of the DNA and the fiber.
It's amazing how these people talk about these things as if it's not a reaction to circumstances already. Not that is the way it was initiated, but it was just a response to whatever was going on. Okay, you don't want us to be in your schools, we'll create schools. Okay, you don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to celebrate our culture, we'll do it among each other.
Exactly. Right. People always ask, like, oh, how can you have black pride? What are you proud about? You didn't do anything to become black. And I always tell people, it's not that people just want to run around being prideful about being black. It's about how many times black people had to endure being told to be ashamed of who they are, which prompted them to fight back. And then us still to this day having to fight back. When I say them, I mean ancestors. Pulling all the way up to today where people still do that kind of shit. And so people have to say, I'm proud of what I am. You can't tell me you feel ashamed of it. So
John said usually a segregated spaces these days is for community and safety. Exactly. That's true.
Fiber, because they are race obsessed. The biggest lie is that the left wants equality. It's not true. So let's listen to this together. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Let's play cut 107.
Do you think that integration was the right move? And now I'm separating two things, because I know in America people are like, well, of course, I mean, there was racism and there's segregation, and I go, yeah, no, I'm separating them. Let's separate someone being oppressed and someone not being able to get a job and someone not being able to get a bank loan. Let's take all of the negative things away, because I'll put myself out personally and say, so if I'm in a room with black people, already there's like an implicit trust because we know what certain actions, words, and vibes mean. And then you're in a room with another African. Already. Now, even if you shout at me, I know what your shout means. The same way an Italian knows what an Italian shout means.
Yeah.
Right?
Continues in cut 108. Prince Professor Ruha Benjamin responds to Trevor Noah. Play cut 108.
No, I don't. And I don't think it's actually that controversial when if you understand that segregation and integration weren't the only options. Like those are within those two options, it may seem like integration is the more progressive. Like, of course, we don't want segregation. But again, when you're being integrated into institutions, into a culture, that's a supremacist culture. That's a culture that feeds off of hierarchy, that feeds off of insecurity, anxiety. Why are we?
Oh, hey, Princess Alyssa. Hi, Nova, just popping in. We'll catch the replay. Appreciate hearing your take on politics and social issues. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you Yeah, I'm glad you'll catch us on the replay. Leave a
Hey.
comment. Let us know what you think.
Real quick before you restart it up, I gotta
Mhm.
say something. So I know, and I think most people here know that you're not like. It's not really a good idea to just. It's almost like an ad hominem to start talking shit about how people look, right?
Right.
But Charlie Kirk is a hateful piece of shit, right?
Right, exactly.
And I know I'm a flawed person, but I tell you, when somebody makes me dislike them on a high level, everything, every flaw they have really starts to stand out.
It just stands out.
I sent you that picture on Discord, so you
Oh, you did?
pull that,
Okay.
pull that up when you have a second.
And let me see. You sent that on Discord?
Yeah, to your message.
No, I didn't get it. All right.
Uh,
Maybe it hasn't come through yet. We
oh, it's a
strive for
web
equity.
page. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, keep going.
That's all right. Jojo said we strive for equity. Everyone gets what they need to be on the same level. Equality means everyone gets the same thing. That's not necessarily fair. If other groups need things they aren't getting. Right. I have no problem making fun of how terrible people are. Giants don't. Midwest is going to find a nose hair to zoom in and make fun of. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I can see the pores
Yeah.
on your face.
Yeah,
Are we
everything
being
bothers
integrated
me at
into that?
point.
From the beginning, you could tell they believe there are good races and bad races.
No, that's not what. Okay, I'm gonna let him finish what he's saying, because that's not what they're saying at all.
Say it,
But
right.
okay,
They believe in sorting people by race. It has always been America's view to treat people as individuals. Our movement is focused on character and meritocracy. In the end,
there's like a 400-year block where an entire group of people were looked at as less than people. They were property.
3/5 even.
When in America's history, like this is not
Yeah.
necessarily the legacy of America, right? It was actually forced because it just made sense to abolish slavery. It wasn't out of the kindness of anyone's hearts, or else it wouldn't have taken 300 years to do it. But okay.
Okay, boom. I sent it to you. Now I got it through.
Okay.
I'm sure it works now.
All right.
When you
in
look
the
at
end,
that
you
shit
could
more
tell
easily.
they just don't like white people.
Okay.
They don't like Western culture. They don't like any of it.
Okay.
See, hold on.
They want
Okay, good.
Yeah, again, like I don't see this whole like, oh, they don't like white people thing. Are there excuse me, are there black people who don't like white people? Absolutely.
Right.
Are there black people who are like not hostile to white people, but kind of suspicious of them and still won't say, I don't dislike you, but I'm not going to trust you as far as I can throw you? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those people have a reason. And I would never say that people who are all the way on the side of all white people are bad. Namely because I kind of married a white person, so and my kids are half white, so that's part of it. But also because I know good white people, the same way that I wouldn't say, the same way that I wouldn't say all police are bad, because I know actual like good decent police officers who don't participate in that kind of shit.
Right.
That a lot of the other police officers do. So it's not like that, you know. With every, I don't know. I was actually talking to my friend because I went to this progressive thing yesterday, right? And some of the people there who were mirroring some of the same beliefs that I have were also painting with a very wide brush about like Republicans in general. Now, there's Republicans who didn't vote for Trump, and you know, and I know that to be true because he didn't get the numbers he got last time, and he didn't get the kind of numbers that would say that there was some kind of mandate and that he pulled a bunch of people over to his side. But at the same time, he I'm fucking.
You lost your train of thought?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking like two fucking things at once, man. I need to write this shit down. I hate that. My brain does that shit. It starts thinking like, oh, what about this path down here? And then I forget the entire fucking thing I was saying.
It's all right.
right.
Maybe it'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come
Giant
back.
Stone has said meritocracy is when a weird looking, small faced man with a tepid IQ and a nasally voice can get rich asking stupid questions. His mouth breathing followers think sounds smart. Got it. Exactly. Exactly.
They want whatever path lets them not like white people more.
He didn't even say
They-
anything about not liking white people. This
Yeah.
conversation, okay.
In this clip,
gonna keep going.
Trevor Noah and Ruha Benjamin are pushing forward a ideology that is no different than the Ku Klux Klan. It's the
Okay.
modern day manifestation of
And what did you say?
He said it's the first.
That
He
is
said
no
it
different-
wrong. He said it's the Ku Klux Klan, which is incorrect. It's Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
But he I don't know why he wouldn't know that. But
Right.
it's like they always. I think that most of the time, a lot of these guys, the accusation is the admission.
Yeah.
It's always
Yep.
a mirror of what they do and what they think and what they say. And a lot of times it's because they can't picture it any other way. Like why would a black person not like certain white people? Like I don't know Charlie Kirk, but I don't like him, and part of it is because of his white supremacist views that he spouts all over the place, and the fact that he
Right.
does this bullshit where him and Steven Crowder, they both do it. They go to colleges with a bunch of young, like kids who are still trying to figure life out, and ask them all these fucking highly in-depth questions that they've had time to research and find bullshit
Yeah.
answers to that these kids haven't looked into. So they leave them like stuttering and saying, "Oh well, I don't really know." They know why it's right, but they don't have all the facts to back it up. And in the moment, and so it makes Charlie Kirk look like he has good debate skill. What's his name? The little fast talking guy with the yarmulke. He does this. Ben Shapiro. He does the same shit, and he just gallops through, talks fast, and spouts things that sound like facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wait, did I mute it? Yeah, I did.
It's the modern day manifestation of the Ku Klux Klan. It is black KKK, is what they're saying. Let's resegregate. We don't want to be around white people. We don't want to be around all their anxiety and their customs and having to show up on time and all the white supremacist practices.
Having to show up on time and all that watermelon eating that they want to
right. Just like, okay, well, where did that even
Black
come from?
people
I mean, the funny
never
thing
been
is
on time.
that what Trevor was explaining was just like a familiarity in terms of culture, right? Like there are a lot of things that people are going to get wrong when they're just not familiarized with how certain groups of people just even communicate with each other. And that can also create a lot of dissension. It can create problems when you, like, perfect example, in New York, right? We have a lot of gentrification going on. In the summertime in New York, there's a lot of kids who don't necessarily, like, they don't come from families where they have access to a car or something like that. So they're not able to necessarily go to like beaches all the time, or they can't go to pools all the time, or whatever, right? And to some people that they can't fathom that, but that's a reality for many kids. Or their parents are just working, so they're home all day in the summer. So what ends up happening, right? They'll have block parties. They'll open up the pump in the street so that the kids can have like a sprinkler or whatever the case may be. But with gentrification, what ends up happening? These people move into the block and they live like up the block from the projects, and now they're mad at the loud music in the summer because people are throwing barbecues. Also, what happens in the hood a lot of time, people have their baby showers and stuff outside because it's nice weather and they don't have the money for an actual venue. So they do it outside. And, or have a bar, whatever the case may be. So, but now you have these people who move in are not familiar with the way it's done. And now they're starting to call cops. People get tickets. People get, like, I have to deal with the cops because these folks that just moved in are not familiar with the habits of that group of people. So, and that is not necessarily a race thing. That's more of a socioeconomic thing or what have you. But it also can be a race thing, right?
Because it
A
it
culture
impacts a
thing,
certain
ethnicity.
race
It
more than
depends.
other.
Exactly. If you gotta police people having a celebration outside, you're a loser.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's
always
annoying.
degrees. There's always degrees to everything. It's just like, okay, so if somebody's having a thing during the day, that's fine. If it goes into the night and they, at a certain hour, you got to quiet down. You can't be like popping firecrackers and fucking
Yeah.
yelling, screaming out at 11 o'clock at night. But that don't mean you can't be out there, because I remember when I was growing up, like in the city, we would have the grill going till like 12 o'clock at night. As long as we
Yeah.
would just be quiet, and then we would go in the crib and just chill out and hang and bullshit around for a while.
Hmm.
So it's like, if you don't want to, one, encroaching on other people and then telling them that their way of life is fucked up, is a bother. It's fucked up. And I saw it happen too in Chicago. They had like so they had like Puerto Rican area, Humble Park. And there was like a black area that butted up against it in Humble Park too. And then there was Logan Square. And all these were areas, and everybody knows the famous Cabrini Green. That's where they had good times. That's where they lived, in the big towers. And it has like the fences in the front all the way up the tower, instead of like a wall, instead of an actual wall, they had fences. And these were the ghettos that they made for the Irish people, because it's called Cabrini O'Green, right? And so they made the Irish people way back when, Depression type shit, and then they moved the Irish people out because Irish people became white people, and then and then they moved the black people in.
Sure.
Yeah, and all those
That's
areas
how
were
it goes.
gentrified. All those areas were gentrified. The areas that I grew up in that area in Cabrini Green. And so now it's condos and fucking, and there's like literally a train track that separates where all the nice shit is from where all the fucking not taken care of tenements are.
Wow.
And Candyman was set in Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
And that shit was scary as hell as a kid.
That's the thing. That's the funny thing. No, not funny, but like projects from like other places, they seem like, I will say, the projects from here seem a lot like better, like taken care of to some degree than some of the other places I've seen. I'm talking about projects, like not public housing, because public housing is better in some other places.
Yeah.
But like projects, way like just run down in other places, like I've seen in Chicago. I'm like, oh my god, like
the places I grew up in were fucking horrible, man. I got horror stories for hours.
I bet.
Practices. This is what's so different about what our movement is about. Our movement is about unity. We don't care about the color of your skin.
Right.
We care about your character. We don't care about how you look. We care about how you act. We don't care about melanin content. That is the way that we want to base the entire society. They are race obsessed. They want to put us all in pre-described buckets based on the color of their skin. This is a losing political mentality, by the way. This is why blacks and Hispanics who seek freedom and empowerment are flocking to the Trump Republican Party. Meanwhile, Trevor Noah and his professor friend, they're trying to rebuild the modern day plantation.
It's funny that he said that black people are flocking. See, and this is the image. This is how they win elections, right? Is they take the small group of black people, because if you look at the election, 70 or 75 or almost 80% of black men voted for Kamala, and then it was like almost 90% of black women voted for Kamala, right? So they got like 15 to almost 20% of black people, which is like generally around the norm, right? Somewhere in that area.
I believe so, yeah.
But even if it was a small increase, you can sway some people with certain things, because that's I know a guy, and me and this dude, like me and my boy, this guy from Alabama that I know here in Tennessee, his friend who's in Georgia, he was like, this dude used to be very liberal. He used to be very like, but he was like a pro-black. He was a foundational black American, right? And so now he was like, he's talking about how he's gonna vote for Trump and all this other stuff. And I'm like, and he's got a business and he's got all this money. I don't know how much he makes or if he goes in over the 400 grand level. I doubt it. But he said how everybody's gonna benefit from the blacks and Hispanics. How everybody's gonna benefit from Trump's reign. And I'm waiting. I haven't talked to him in a while. I'm gonna talk to this guy again. But there's so many. There's a lot of black people, a lot more than you would expect. But there's enough of them that they can be loud and that they can, like, we looked at the guy, old boy, the black conservative, and then there's like Jeff Mead on TikTok, along with a few other black creators, because there's always people who are going to they don't have any morals, right? So they'll sell themselves as puppets for a white supremacist talking point memo. Right. And they will say all the things, and it's kind of like, well, look, if this black guy believes it, how can you say it's not valid? Or look at Charlie Kirk. The black people are flocking to our group because they're tired of this and tired of that. Sure, you get a few, but if you make them seem really loud and boisterous, you're still the loud minority. But if you place them everywhere, remember Diamond and Silk were everywhere like 10 years ago, and that's because they just. It's easy to parade a black person around and not give them any jobs after you get what you want. I'm talking to you, Byron Donalds.
Time and time again.
Tim Scott.
Tim Scott.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Brian Robinson, Mr. Big Devil, idiot. Like
I think it's also easy for a person to be like to buy into the idea that they just have, like, look at perfect example like Dave Rubin, right? To buy into the idea that they just have these great ideas, and that's why, like, to buy into the concept that, like, they're being allowed into these spaces because of meritocracy and not recognize that they're being utilized, And some of them, I think, don't care. Some folks, whether it be Black, Hispanic, gay, whatever, like, they just are like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna get this bag and keep it moving. But I think that there's also some other folks who actually are like, no, look, my ideas are good. I just have to get among the right people, and the right people just happen to be all these, bigoted white folks. You know what I mean? Until they get spent, and then they're like, oh shit. Because look at what happened with Candace Owens. She tried to hop over and be on Power 105 and all that, and that run did not go well for her. So what did she have to do? Go back to her own podcast and and dive into the conspiracies and the anti-trans stuff.
Yeah, they find it's a thing, y'all. They jump and at the same thing. They jump at the same at the instructions of whatever white person is behind it, Peter Thiel or whoever the fuck it is that's giving them their money. And we found out, like, Tim Pool and a couple other guys, I think Stephen Crowder was one of them. They got all this money, millions of dollars, and they were giving this money to say the things that they're saying. So it's like you're being influenced financially to say some hateful shit that basically. The anti-trans, Kansas Owens is stupid. It's basically, it's disseminating hate. That's all it is.
All right, Taylor. It
makes people go rabbit. About to step on a treadmill. Oh shit! Yeah, don't do that. Don't hurt yourself.
Yo, yeah, be safe. Giant Stonehead said the anti-trans stuff makes people go rabbit. It's weird. It is. It's very weird. Did you see they're transvestigating her? Yeah. Yes, her own base, her own fan base is now transvestigating Candace Owens and saying that she trans, which
wait. Say that again. Who's trans?
So they're trying to say Candace Owens is trans.
See, now that's the problem. She gonna run into the problem that everybody else, or that she didn't recognize that this is what they voted for. So now she has to prove it, right? Or what? Well, how do you prove that, Candace? Like, what are you gonna do? Get a DNA test? You're gonna show us your chromosomes?
Right, exactly.
You put your pants down on TV? Like,
exactly.
This is the shit y'all want.
Exactly. So D.L. Hughley didn't like Trevor Noah talking about the whole the integration. He didn't like that topic, and so he has something to say about it. So let me bring his video or that video up.
Okay, DL is
Um,
usually a pretty thoughtful guy with
yeah.
his words.
Here's somebody else did this video, but they played this little part of DL.
Is that our story always starts in the middle. HBCUs came as a result of what we couldn't have. Not only did they leave, they took their. So this notion that integration ever existed was wrong. White flight happened as soon as integration started.
The host of TMZ Live would confirm with Hughley that the true purpose of integration, Hughley would explain, although that was a supposed purpose of integration, which was because Black schools were and still are grossly underfunded. As soon as it was implemented, white flight followed. In the end, Hughley would say he doesn't believe most white people agree with the motives of white supremacists and white nationalists, but he does think they agree with their goals, which is to keep white people in charge.
So I thought that was interesting because I think that I don't disagree with Hughley, but I think to some degree that's what Trevor Noah was talking about. Like that the integration was more a facade. Like it was like they said it was integration, but when you integrate and Dr. Rashad Rich, let me see if I'll bring up his video.
If you integrate into a system that's not designed, or that is designed to still subjugate you in a lot of different ways, then I mean, what do you end up having at the end? Which is like what do you have right now is division, like at a high level.
Right. And then that you never get the equity that you actually need.
Yeah, I know, like you can have equality. Y'all can start now. Like,
yeah,
Trevor Noah.
Right. You can start now from
just
held back 100 years, right? A few hundred years, but you'll catch up at some point in the future.
Yeah.
All right. I think he talks about it here. Where did it go? There we go.
Equal is a mathematical symbol.
Oh, I got it perfectly. Shit.
Let me start.
Shout out to me.
When you measure equality in a social construct, you must have a measure of what equality looks like. So the measure became white men. You must be equal to white men in order to have equality. That became the paradigm. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm breaking down what we understand in hindsight. The paradigm became, once you can achieve the same thing that a white male can achieve, you are thus equal. And so to do this, we had to thus integrate or assimilate into systems that white men were accepted in. So we needed to shop where they shopped. We had to eat where they.
And just to add on to that, and then what ends up happening too, in my opinion, once there are like once things are put so like you can't take a whole group of people and say they're 3/5 of a person. They're not real people. They're just here to serve this other group of people, right? You don't get to take those people, no education, not really necessarily a great grasp on language, and put them into society and go forth and thrive, right? Without the people that have looked at this group of people that way for however many years, now you expect them to treat them as equal. Now you expect them to hire them. Now you expect them to want to educate them. It's not going to happen. It's going to take then for you to put it into law to treat these people as equal. But then what happens then? Then you have these DEI conversations. Then you have affirmative action conversations. Well, they're not qualified. They're just being let in because of the color of their skin. So there's no real equity in that instance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. And that's actually something I was gonna say in the beginning, like after watching Trevor Noah, because what he's saying is thoughtful. And of course, like anybody with a brain will look at that and say, well, to segregate this small individual group is gonna further alienate them, because then it's gonna be
Right.
like, remember that movie District 9? Like that whole thing was an allegory for apartheid. You like really don't want that, because it's like now we know where they all are. Let's keep them over there and make the area they live in smaller and smaller. It's like no matter what, like you said, you have to codify this shit into law, because until we get to a point where people are not like judging other folks based off of these very, one, uncontrollable things, and two, benign things, like what race they are, what culture they happen to have, until we can until we can have the mass, take it like this, like the majority of our culture values children. Right. So we have like laws in the majority, because they're trying to bring them back, but like we have child labor laws, and we also have anti pedo laws, right? And we also, and everybody looks down upon like people who hurt kids. So until we get to, and there's of course a small tiny contingency who are like sympathetic or who are part of that group, and so they don't see it that way. But those people are in the minority, and they can't just come out and be like, I'm proud about this. Like, I'm NAMBLA. You can't just go everywhere talking about that shit, right? And until we get to a point where everybody's against like the very small sliver of people that are left that are hateful, then you're going to have it as a law. And even then, you want to keep it as a law to make sure that people don't go back and go back to the same shit, like forget, because over time people will start to forget. If you have it as part of your laws and you continue to show history, then people can not repeat it. Like if people like that saying that if you don't know your own history, you're doomed to repeat it. Because people are a certain way, like people are tribal. Yeah, very much so.
They could eat.
Education's bad. Go ahead.
We had to go to hotels that they were allowed to go to that we were not historically allowed to go to. Necessary process, yes. The accessibility, the dynamics of access needed to be there, but these are accessibility dynamics. These are places that we can access based on corporate dynamics. Can we go there? Yes, we can go there now. Can we commune there? Yes, we can. Can we assemble there? Yes, we can. That has very little to nothing to do with actual rights, freedoms, respect, equitable outcome. Dr. King put it best when he said, while we're fighting for equality, I'm looking for, and he termed it sincere, authentic equality. And then he provided the context for that statement. He says, it's one thing to sit where you want to sit in a restaurant. It's another thing to own it. That came from Dr. King. Now, they won't promote that, but it did happen. It's in an interview. You can find it yourself. It's easily there. So that contextualization even started with Dr. King, understanding it's not it's not for lack of good faith on behalf of those who are good faith operators. It's the implementation protocol. All right, Jackson, interesting conversation.
I think that's like the best. I think that's often overlooked when they talk about like equality and what that looks like in a country like the one that we have, where we have a lot of different groups of people, where we have a long history. Like I think we're like one of the last countries, right, to abolish slavery. Or no, that's Brazil.
We still haven't fully abolished it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like we have a long and have one of the worst types of it. So there's a lot to undo, and we're only maybe a century out of that. We have a longer period of time with slavery in America than without.
Than without it, yeah.
And then that's just slavery, and then you got to tack on Jim Crow and all the segregation laws that came after it. So I mean, it's an interesting conversation, but it's also one that I've heard older people in my life make, where they've said things like integration was was not beneficial.
Well, of course, it wasn't
Because to them, they
beneficial.
don't in the way that it was done in
It
America.
was the
Not that
implementation. It's not the
right,
idea. It's
exactly.
the system that we
Right,
got put into that's fucked. It's not the concept
right.
that's not a good concept.
Exactly. And that's what
Yeah.
I think that's the point that's being missed. That's the best way to put it. Is like if it was done in a way that was truly equitable, truly equal, then yes, it would have been great. But the way it was implemented, it just wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't. And no matter how because you abolish slavery, but then you have all these other laws that still keep people from buying houses. They don't even want to live in the same neighborhoods as. So, are you truly equal? No.
Mm-hmm. So
Change the
look,
mind. Yeah.
I'm gonna go off a little bit off the rail for a second, but I'm gonna bring it back for sure.
All right.
Salt, sugar. All right, so I'm listening to this book called Salt, Sugar, and Fat, right? And this book is at the point that I'm in the book right now. They're talking about how these CEOs of all these companies were meeting. First of all, did you know that Philip Morris owns like Kraft and like not Kellogg, but some other big huge brand of food? They were pivoting. They're pivoting now away from cigarettes because people are like not using them. But anyway, so in this book, they're talking about how like these CEOs and these companies have like processes that they go through, like say a potato chip that's got salt on it, right?
Right.
They have figured out exactly how much salt pulls you to the point of bliss, like where you feel just like, oh, I can't stop eating them, right? And then they start experimenting with things like, hey, let's make the salt into like a powder so that it hits the tongue faster. Let's make the sugar into like let's process it with certain chemicals so that it tastes like 100 times sweeter. So if we put exactly the right amount, they're using science against us. That's my point, is that they have such a huge lead on us that they now control. Like when you eat food that's processed and like cereals and potato chips and all that other shit, you are literally being programmed by the way that they manufacture these foods to want as much as possible. Because like back in the 50s, people couldn't just pop open a big ass bag of Doritos and eat the whole thing. But now they got different chemicals and different ratios of salt to fat and sugar to fat, and then they like, if they go diet, like they'll reduce this salt but they'll uptake sugar because they said sugar reacts in your brain the same way cocaine does.
That's crazy. I mean, I believe it. That's crazy.
Okay, so now I'm gonna bring it back to what we're talking about. That's germane to the conversation. So all these like, there's like 76% of CEOs are white men, and then there's a few more percentage points of white women in this country. They've had such a huge head start that they now can control through like their HR, through programs and shit like that can keep them in a certain position. And this is not every company. Not every company runs this way, but there are some, especially, and there's some individual people who are like super rich who don't want us, and that's us. I mean, all Americans. And if you can hold down one group, you can hold down the whole entire group. Of all the multiple different groups that are following the umbrella of Americans. When I'm talking about like black people, white people, Asians, that the entire thing, right? But a lot of times the shit that, because white people be like, oh, I get arrested too. Yeah, of course they're gonna arrest you. They've been doing it to us for so long that nobody cares anymore. When they do it to y'all too, they're starting to get y'all too. You're poor. That's the problem. You don't realize they don't give a fuck about you. Rich and white. That's who gets all the shit. It's not every white person, and that's why people don't understand white privilege, because there's not like you wake up and you have a better life just simply off the fact that you're white. It's that when there's an extra added layer to being black that you don't know about. Like that's one of them things. Like I tell my son, there's certain shit that you could read a book all day long, and I always use Ray Gun as my big example. Now that woman went to school for hip hop and breakdancing and shit, and look at what she produced. You can learn about that shit all day long in the classroom. and and it don't matter until you can apply that shit. And some things you have to have the history and knowledge of before you can even start to apply it. And BGTV is right.
BGTV said, "Do you know how that started? They used to feed rats fast food and junk food, and they would eat only enough that they were full. They started adding sugar and fat and salt to the food. Rats overate."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize is like the classism is what I think is gonna be and it's what we saw with what happened with the CEO with Luigi Mangione thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a class solidarity that happened there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what anyone who's in power is afraid of.
That's why you
Because
don't
if
hear
they
about
can
his ass no more.
exactly if they can get the poor white person to think that the poor black people or the poor Mexicans are their problem, then they won't all recognize that the
Mm-hmm.
rich people are the real problem and the rest of us are just pawns in whatever game they're playing. Um, and that's the real solidarity that actually has to happen, class solidarity. But you know, that's gonna take some time. I feel like Giant Stone has said cocaine and sugar spike the neurotransmitter dopamine, which among other things is associated with learning and establishing habits. Part of why they're addictive.
Yeah, I hate that shit. Like, like I said, I tell people I don't usually eat breakfast, right? And
Hmm.
at night I usually have like a bowl of cereal. And I try it. Like, I don't really even like to do it anymore. But there's some
Hmm.
days I can do it, like if I go to bed early. But if I stay up late, like writing or watching like a basketball game, eventually it becomes the all-consuming thought. And it's
Really?
just like, yeah, it becomes. I just like, oh, I just sit there like, I do not want to do this, but I'm not gonna stop thinking about it until I do it. It's crazy
Hmm.
how much I hate the fact that I drink so much sugar. I try to cut back, but every time I do, like eventually I start doing it again and again. I'm gonna have to just eventually just get rid of all the major sources of sugar, like soda and shit like that. But
Yeah.
that's a hard fight because you go through like withdrawal and you get all cranky and
I'm a
angry and
juice
shit.
person. That's tough for
Yeah,
me. I could get rid of soda. I'm not really a big soda drinker, but juice,
juice is just as bad.
man,
That's just sugar in
I
it and
know.
fucking fruit flavors.
You can't, man. You fuck with my juice, you got a problem. But
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm trying.
who the fuck drank all the OJ?
Yeah.
Don't make me.
Uh, Johnny Stone said you can also use cocaine as a topical and analgesic and
Yeah, analgesic.
analgesic. Oh,
Analgesic.
and vasoconstrictor. Sometimes it's still given for nosebleeds in ERs or after surgery.
Hey,
Ah,
take this bump in the ER. You know it'll be cool.
you'll be fine.
Dude,
No,
walk up with a
you're
big ass pinky
trying,
fingernail,
Marty.
like, you ready?
I'm
Take
trying,
take fucking 4 milliliters or 2 cc's of cocaine.
right? Coffee is mine too. I could drink coffee. Like I drink coffee
See, and
more
like
than I
all the
should.
other addictive shit, like I can give up. I can drink coffee, but I can if coffee just dropped off the earth, I'm like, all right, I'll just drink tea or just something else. But I like
Yeah,
coffee a lot. I like the flavors and shit. But I could go without.
get out,
It don't
Yaddle.
matter.
Yeah,
No sugar in my
Yaddle said
beers. Sugar
no.
beer. You need to drink sugar beer, bro. What's up?
So speaking of things that I know a lot of people would like to give up, Donald Trump did he made a post for because there was a hockey. I don't know what the name of their like series is, but
Hmm.
they had like the hockey. I guess the final series before whatever team, and it was America versus Canada,
Oh
which
yeah, the
is
fight
fucking
with the fight.
hilarious. So, so Donald Trump does this post. I'll be calling our great American hockey team this morning to spur them on towards victory tonight against Canada, which with far lower taxes
Start selling this shit. Always be closing.
and much stronger security will someday, maybe soon, become our cherished and very important 51st state. I will be speaking before the governors tonight in DC and will sadly, therefore, be unable to attend. but we will all be watching. And if Governor Trudeau would like to join us, he would be most welcome. Good luck to everybody and have a great game tonight. So exciting.
Oh my God.
President Donald J. Trump.
This
Guess
dude
what?
is like the guy that doesn't get the message. They're
But
like, we
guess
don't like
what?
you.
The Canada won.
That's funny as hell. That's funny.
So Canada won.
What's up, Axelot?
What's going on Axelot? So I guess that's their response to him.
They
when
don't.
it comes to,
They're like, could you go away, sir? Like, you're creeping me. I don't know you that well. Just because we live next to each other does not mean we're friends. Please push on.
Like, you're being weird. Please leave me
Yeah,
alone.
Accolades.
Oh my god! And I got these on Twitter. So, and then we have Gutfeld, who had a message
fucking Greg
for
Gutfeld. That dude is fucking. Oh, he's
for the Dems. Oh, hey, what's up, Axelot? Mr. Fear said your king is insane.
He is. He's fucking.
He's insane.
Trump line. I'm King Trump line.
Oh my god. Okay, let's see what Gutfeld has to say, because apparently he knows what the problem is with the Democrats.
The new Democratic Party must realize that to exist, you can't rely on accolades. Praise doesn't build anything. You should have learned that in 2024. Support from the woke.
Accolades is like what you earn. Like that's
See, they always
to let people know what your field of, like,
that's their tactic.
Yeah, the anti-intellectual bullshit that they be doing.
But they do the
Like,
same. Remember when they did that with entitlements? Like, say you pay into
Mhm.
Social Security for your entire life, and you're like, well, I want my Social Security entitlements. Look how entitled you are. The equivocation happens so fucking fast, right? They just immediately, and any word that you use, like, think about it. When critical race theory came out, and Christopher Rufo put that tweet out, he's like, look, our goal is to just denigrate the words critical race theory. And anytime
Mhm.
somebody says that shit, I want people to have a negative connotation with it. And he did that shit. They did it. And now, like, you
Mhm.
can't say CRT without people like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, that a black person is being talked about or treated better than a
Yeah.
white person, or some other weirdo fucking version of what they think CRT is, even though that's not what it is.
Yeah, it's like what they do now
Teaching
with
white people
DEI
to hate
too.
themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jojo said the problem with Dems and Republicans is that those parties shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
George Washington literally warned us about this exact thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Woke didn't increase the quality of
Okay.
life. It didn't make
No,
no.
safer streets, cheaper eggs, a
You want to say something? Or you good?
Go ahead.
Okay.
secure border, jobs with good wages. It ended no wars. All it did was make Rachel Levine feel like a woman and Bud Light feel like They gave in to the mind virus, all because they didn't like the hassle of having to fight it. They were scared. But of what? Thinking for themselves? But for wokeness to work, everyone has to bite, but America didn't.
I hate that the
And now
term
you
woke has been bastardized in the way that it has.
Woke is
like
another
growing
one.
up. Oh yeah, like growing up, woke. It was so, it was really just about recognizing the reality of, our situation, people that live in poverty, or people black, Hispanic, and anti-establishment.
Keep your head
sort of
on a swivel, like, yeah.
Exactly. And for it to become what it's become is very frustrating, but keep going.
You lost everything. So now what, Dems? Are there issues that Trump missed? Can you grab them and not only make your lives better, but ours too? Or at this point, can you even find them when you're still clinging to the noxious past? You might start soon. Otherwise, it's your funeral.
Yeah, they're actually, dude, they're on the way. They're trying to get an executive order through, right? And this executive order, if it goes through, it is called Ensuring Accountability for All Agencies Executive Order. they are trying to send this through. And what it does, all federal agencies, including independent regulatory commissions, are now subject to direct White House control. Regulations cannot be issued without president approval. Office of Management and Budget can now withhold funding from independent agencies if they don't align with White House priorities. They're going to put a White House liaison in every independent regulatory agency to enforce direct presidential control. This is going to be this is the power grab that they've been waiting for. If this gets pushed through, because you can't subvert shit that was voted on by Congress and installed into law. You can't overturn that shit with an executive order. That's the whole fucking point of checks and balances. Is that he put up a post on what was it, True Social or some shit, where he's dressed as a king and he's got the helmet. I mean the helmet. He's got the fucking crown on his head.
Crown. Yeah.
He wants to be here forever until he dies. And that shit is like, people thought we were joking, and it's gonna be too late. And all these fucking people who are like, oh man, I didn't know he was gonna do that. I didn't know he was gonna fire my mom. Like, yo, you're a fucking idiot. Your mom's job, it sucks that your mom lost her job, but this is the world you wanted to live in. And this is where we are now. And it all ties back to this shit, because with this becoming the way, like this Nazi-ish fucking regime that they got going on, they can now say shit to everybody, like especially black people, whatever the fuck they want, and they can talk how they feel without feeling like they're gonna have any repercussions. Pete Hegseth is drinking something a lot. He's drinking a lot of brown liquid while he's out doing those fucking, they can get away with whatever they want now, it seems. So.
Yeah. And I mean, this is what people voted for, all because, they wanted to stick it to trans people, and they wanted to what was the other fight? Trans people, and there's another one that they were like up in arms about.
Big issues.
But DEI and trans people, really. That was like,
really, their big issues were like, oh, the food is bad, the economy is bad, like prices are bad, blah blah blah.
Price of eggs.
And it's funny, if you ask them now, that shit is getting even higher. They're like, man, that shit don't matter. We gotta have some pain before it gets.
It'll take time. It's gonna take time.
I'm like, wait, what happened to? I'm gonna fix all this shit on day one. I'm gonna end the war in Russia on day one. See, the only thing that he didn't, even I'm gonna be a dictator. He wasn't even a dictator from day one. It took him a little while to get to this point. He's just always lying. It doesn't matter.
On the flip side, on a positive note, we might get the Doge dividend. Have you heard about the Doge dividend?
Yeah, it's gonna be like have you heard of tax on tips? It's like this the shit that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys
it's
want
something
this?
For people to hold on to. They're like,
if they
we're
pay,
get
the thing about it
$5,000.
If they did that and they gave the tax cuts to their buddies, which they will do that part for sure, that would be like $11 trillion in debt, or having a deficit. Like that would add to the deficit like super large. It's already going to be super large now, and nothing they can do. They can eliminate every federal government elected position, and that would only cover like 4 or 5% of what they're trying to raise to give to their buddies. And I'm like, dude, these tax cuts are not going to affect you, me, millionaires, not even millionaires, like for the most part. It's billionaires. It's the 1.1% that's going to get most of this money. And it's crazy. People are like, oh yeah, fuck my interests.
Yeah, exactly. Coyote said American scientists can't even contact their Canadian counterparts to share research anymore.
That's crazy. Now science is going down the drain. Like, man, it's getting ugly out there. Y'all better.
No, I didn't see that, ready. John. Yeah, it's getting ugly. Dark money, astroturfing is a problem. 2010 Citizens United ramped it up. Look at who funded the 2010 Tea Party. It's only been a couple of months. Buckle up. Yeah, I know. Well, Bernie Sanders got a message for everybody. Let me bring him up.
Oh shit, old fucking Grandpa Bernie. What you gotta say?
He be having his
the clouds.
Yeah,
it's too bright today.
All right, Bernie. Let's see.
Very, very serious issue. Yesterday, we witnessed an extremely sad moment in American history. we saw the president of the United States aligning himself with the dictator of Russia, Vladimir Putin, to undermine the independence of Ukraine and its democracy. Let's be clear. Trump is showing us that he sees one of the world's most brutal dictators as his friend and our longtime democratic allies in Europe as his enemies. He wants a world that is safe for authoritarians and oligarchs, but extremely dangerous for democracies. It will not surprise you when I tell you that Trump is lying, as he so often does. Yesterday, Trump said that Ukraine started the war. That's not true.
They invaded themselves.
Invaded Ukraine twice. First in 2014, then again in 2022. Right now, Russia occupies about 20% of Ukraine. Since Putin's horrific invasion, over 1 million people have been killed or injured every single day.
Wow.
Russia continues to rain down hundreds of missiles and drones on Ukrainian cities. Putin's forces have massacred civilians and kidnapped thousands of Ukrainian children, bringing them back to Russian re-education camps. These atrocities led the International Criminal Court to issue an arrest warrant for Putin in 2023 as a war criminal, Further, Trump called Ukrainian President Zelensky a dictator. That's not true either. Zelensky won 75% of the vote in free elections. In fact, his approval rating is higher than Trump's. In the midst of a brutal war, Ukraine's parliament continues to function and free and unfettered political debate takes place. Trump claimed that our European allies have done little to support Ukraine in its fight against Putin's invasion. He said the United States has contributed 3 times more than Europe. But that's another lie. In fact, Europe has provided more aid to Ukraine than the United States. But it's not just that Trump is lying again. That's not new. It's what this all reveals about where he wants to take our country and, in fact, the entire world. Trump is cozying up to Vladimir Putin. So who is Putin? And what kind of world does he want to build? Putin is a dictator who crushed Russia's movement toward democracy after the end of the Cold War. Russia holds sham elections every 6 years where Putin wins 90% of the vote.
They still do elections over there?
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, these elections are all run through the state, and they all go through Putin. And so he's like, I'm not going to give myself 100%. He's the kid that gives himself a B instead of an A because he's smart enough to know, like, I never get A's. Yeah. It would look too suspicious if I got 100% of the vote. So 90% is good.
I didn't know they still did elections.
You don't remember? He just I think it was like a year or two ago.
That's next level.
The last election. Yeah. Look at them quotation marks. Like, bunnies jumping.
That's whoa, that's crazy.
And authorities don't even try to hide their ballot stuffing.
Yeah.
There is no freedom of speech or free media in Putin's Russia.
See?
Protests are violently suppressed. Tens of thousands of people are in prison for protesting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Political dissidents are harassed or thrown into jail. The bravest, people like Alexei Navalny, are killed outright. Hundreds of thousands of Russians have fled Putin's brutal regime since his invasion of Ukraine. But Putin has maintained control in his country by offering Russia's oligarchs a simple deal. If you give me absolute power, I'll let you steal as much as you want from the Russian people. And that's why in a country where many are struggling economically, Russian oligarchs have stashed trillions of dollars in offshore tax accounts. That is the Russian leader that Trump admires. That is the Russian oligarchy that he supports. But that is not the perspective of the American people. We know, and we are proud of, the fact that the United States of America is the longest standing democracy in the world. We know that many hundreds of thousands of brave Americans over the years have fought and died to defend democracy. We also know that our allies in the world are those countries that believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. In this critical moment in our history, I hope that every American, regardless of political perspective, will stand tall and say yes to democracy, no to oligarchy, and no to authoritarianism. Thank you very much.
You
That,
know what,
I mean, okay.
they just the Senate just confirmed Kash Patel for the FBI. Now we got the FBI.
Wait.
Kash
They
Patel.
confirm what?
They
What's that?
they confirmed Kash Patel, the Indian dude. He's like
Oh,
Trump.
yeah.
So now he's the head of the FBI.
Oh.
That's great. Now we got these. Now they
Excuse
have
me,
the power of the
sorry.
FBI to fucking like anything we say or do now. If they don't like it, you better watch your back.
Yeah. That's pretty much what that's pretty much what it's gonna be. And I think the last maybe like line of defense that we'll have is maybe the military if they decide to go against the how do you call them? Well, what is the oath that military people supposed to take, like to protect against enemies, foreign and domestic? But that's who knows. I don't even. I know. I've heard some military people like, yeah, I'm willing to go back into service if it means that these people don't get to do this bullshit. But who knows if that'll even be effective? Like, I don't know. Bernie Schmiegel for president. Russia, they won't go against Trump. Look, it's not looking good.
They're gonna have to go against Americans, though. They're gonna have to take up weapons against Americans. That's gonna be the hard part. And once that happens, a lot of people I think are gonna snap out of the dumb fucking fog that they're in, because like you can say a lot of things. You can say a lot of things, but there's a lot of people who are like, I got on my Facebook page a bunch of people who are starting to see the light. There's some who kind of see the light. They just kind of see a glimpse of it, and they still don't want to not blame Trump. I think Kash Patel might have been confirmed yesterday, just by the way. But they see the light because they realize that they've been. It sucks that, but I don't ever get this either. Like, why do people have to be affected personally by some shit to like be sympathetic for it? I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I see something that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong whether I've experienced that pain or not. I've experienced my own pain, so I know what it's like. I know that I don't want other people to hurt the way I hurt, and people like, oh yeah, you're a big liberal, or whatever. And I'm like, it's not that. It's just that I try to be compassionate of other people's issues and problems. Everybody thinks that like, oh, if you're fat, it's because you're lazy. Oh, if if you're not a CEO, it's because you're stupid or you're not trying hard enough, or whatever it is. Like if you have to have a regular everyday job, whatever. There's no such thing as unskilled labor, but like anything, working at McDonald's all the way up. If you have to have one of those jobs, like you're obviously a failure in life or whatever. And it's
you
like
shouldn't be living,
and it's the only reason it's like that is because the stagnant wages have caused people to have, if you work at McDonald's, 2 other jobs to make all your ends meet because it's still making $7.50 an hour.
I mean, right, exactly. And not only that, like, look at what's going on right now as we speak. People are getting laid off from jobs that, professional jobs, where they're going to go. If they can't find a job and they decide, hey, I'll pick up something at a McDonald's or whatever, do they not deserve to get a living wage so that at least they could keep up with bills? They couldn't control that they were fired from a federal job. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And if they got a mortgage and cars and this and that, like, come on.
Oh,
what
look,
are they expected to do?
I can read this real quick. As a federal employee
Yeah.
on the chopping block, I 100% regret my vote. And I don't know the name, but this is somebody on Reddit. I voted for a conservative who would come in, maybe fire a few of the weaker feds who make the job harder for the rest of us and get rid of some of the excess spending. Letting a fucking autistic South African maniac slash any agency he wants and laugh about it without congressional involvement. I sure as shit didn't vote for that. And then somebody said, I mean, he told you Elon was going to come in and do it. Have you not seen Elon slash the shit out of Twitter and make it a slower, crappier service? So it's like these people, at the end, he says, Trump said Doge will work with Congress to find government fraud. So that's not what he said. I don't remember him saying that shit ever, that they was going to work with Congress. And even if he did, like, we have documented that he, in his 4 years of his original presidency, he lied over 30,000 times, and that's documented. You can actually go back. It's recorded on the website. You can see every single lie that man ever told while he was president. And then, like, even in the debate, he told like 65 lies in 45 minutes or 100 lies or some shit like that. A guy that lies that much, why would you believe anything he says? You've never seen a con man salesman? Like, that's what he
That's
what
always trips me out. And I'm like, I don't know if it's being from here that, having seen him a lot and, and just kind of like walking past Trump Towers and just like, he's always been obviously a staple in New York culture, at least, you know what I mean? And
but everybody knows.
And I'm like, but I think that his gaudiness and all that, maybe because people just saw him on TV, you know what I mean? Like people just saw him.
That's my point.
Like here a lot, and it's like, how did you not pick up on that? On like what you just say, he's a con artist.
But that's the one thing he's good at, right? I knew this dude when I was younger, when I was like 16 years old. He like everybody called him Gypsy because I think he has like Gypsy background. I don't even know if that's a good word to use or whatever, or if it's a slur. If it is, I apologize.
I'm not sure.
But whatever it was, that was his name, right? And homeboy had like 4 cars, and he wore like nice clothes and had all the cool gadgets and shit like that, right? It just turned out this dude would be sweet talking everybody into everything. There's people who could do that. The con man is actually short for confidence man, and that's the whole point, is to get confidence in and believing that he is who he says he is. And if you notice, rich people get more shit for free than poor people do. If you're rich, people will just shower you with money and give you free things because they believe that your influence, the fact that that this rich person ate at that restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Like, it will influence other people to go eat at that restaurant. So they're going to comp you, and in the hopes that other people will hear that you ate at this restaurant. And if you're a millionaire and you eat there, shit, I want to go. You know, that's the mindset that a lot of people have. And so it's just, it just rotates. It goes over and over again. You know?
All right, John said it's Romney. Okay, that's the right word for it, Romney. Instead of Gypsy, Romney.
All right, thank you, Romney. All right, yeah, I don't want to be misnaming people.
No, you're right. I don't like. He absolutely told people, let people know that he is a con man. He's a salesman, and he's good. He's a shit talker, and
that's why he has everything in gold. It has the best of everything, private jets and shit. And he has the old, what was that show? The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. He lives that, he like presented that life. And in reality, there's thousands of people in his wake that he never paid, that he didn't, that did jobs for him, and that he talked shit about. He had people deported. I mean, it's crazy, the shit that he had.
Yeah. So before we go, I'm gonna work on making these a little bit longer, like finding some more topics and stuff like that. But before we went, I saw this the other day. I like to pop the balloon, right? So just a little bit of fun before we go.
Ooh,
I love pop the
balloon. Is it a balloon that looks like a Ninja Turtle?
No. That guy is
everybody. I'm just waiting for the day that he hits one of these women, and I'm not saying that because I want him to do it. But when I say I'm waiting for the day, like if they keep having him on that show, he looks like he's gonna square up against a woman. Right? Don't you feeling that like unsafe?
Wait. You're absolutely right. He was on. Erica Mena has a new show.
Oh yeah, he fought a trans woman.
and he fought a trans woman there. So and now he's saying that he wants to sue Zeus Network or something like that. I don't know, but no,
How you
this
gonna
is
put your hands up first and then be like, I'm
exactly. This is another guy. I thought this part was just funny, to end it off with because it's Friday, and I thought we'd have a laugh. They don't get to that level by being virtuous. Yeah, that's true. Well, it didn't help people and do a debate unless it was super specific and nice.
Please don't fact check me on that.
All right, so
Yeah,
I
there's
thought
a
this
Ninja
was
Turtle on
funny. This
there.
poor guy. Number one, the sweater is diabolical.
What the fuck is wrong? That sweater looks like a nightmare.
It looks like a Coogee sweater, but it's
Yeah,
just
it's like a
print
Coogee, but
of
like
the
on
color.
heroin.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed
So when are
barber.
you gonna watch his little
Wait a
segment?
minute. Did he say I'm a licensed barber with that hair? Come
He
on.
did.
Come on, man.
He did.
With your
Content
see-through
creator.
mesh beard. Go ahead.
You do have a few balloons pop. Let's
It's
find out
the
what
kicks
ladies
for
pop.
me. What?
All right.
Ooh.
Can you name your age and occupation?
Charlize. I'm a supervisor at a lawn care company. I have my own lip filler business, Juicy Lips, and I just recently started working at a bar. The reason why I popped
She got a
is
lot of jobs.
a lot of colors going on for me, and then you kind of, kind of short too. But that's it.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of I don't like white men. I guess I'll say it. I don't.
Damn. You
Oh,
should have led
Ren.
with that. Wait, did she just realize she don't like white men either? She was like, me too. Pop. I forgot about that part. Like, he
She was
white.
like, "Oh shit, that's right, me
He
either."
is white. I don't fuck with white dudes.
Ren, there's
Hey.
a lot of different versions. There's a New York version. There's like 2 or 3 New York versions. There's a St. Louis. There's a Mississippi. There's
It's so
Texas. There's a
weird.
whole bunch.
This
Yeah.
show, before we go back in real quick, this show is so superficial. Like, I get
Yeah.
sometimes like some of the stuff, like if you don't come as presentable, that's one thing. And if you come with an attitude, that's another. But if you come in there, like I've seen people walk out looking perfectly fine. It's like pop, 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 pop. Like, dude, what did he do? Or what did she do? Like a lot of times, like,
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
or you looking like you want to pop your balloon because of how they look. You should pop.
Right.
There should be a reversey, like
They should do a
reverse
reverse pop.
Yeah, like you pull out a blue balloon, like pop, and then throw it at them and shit, full of water.
Right.
Water
Right.
balloon on their ass.
I don't like white men. So.
Okay. Now, Shar, your type?
Not quite. Not quite.
What makes her not your type?
She's just not necessarily attracted to me.
Right?
See, now how can you expect somebody to be
Give us
honest
your name,
after
your
they hear this and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's always like, nah, she ain't my type. Look at her, her breath probably stank. Like you just start
Yeah.
like figuring shit out.
Just start blaming her.
Age and your occupation.
Okay. My name is Courtney, 35, creative entrepreneur. I'm in the hair industry, so I already know the barber. I'm looking for something a little bit different. I know how that schedule
All right,
can
John,
be.
later.
I definitely know how that schedule can be. We're looking for
Okay,
somebody
well.
who's the opposite of me, not necessarily an entrepreneur. So that's it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Opposites attract. I understand.
Now, is she
Okay.
Not
That's
quite.
not
Not quite.
Why? What did he say?
what makes her not your type?
I need to know why they popped the balloon.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not sure.
they need to start asking them, why did you pop your balloon at that particular moment? What made you pop it then? They need to start asking that. Then the show will be like 10 times more interesting.
There's sometimes it's funny because sometimes someone will pop it and then they'll be like, "Why'd you pop it?" And they're like, "Oh well, because he said A, B, C, D, and E." And they're like, "Well, then why didn't you pop it earlier?" Or because he looks this way. And it's like, well, he's been here for like 10 minutes.
Right? Was he
pop it when
fuzzy? Does it take time for his face to develop like a fucking Polaroid?
Focus.
Idiot.
The fuck?
I don't really want to go into it to detail, but she just
Please.
not appealing
Okay.
to me.
Damn, he said appealing.
Gotcha.
Her
Can you give us your
colors
name, your
clash
age,
with
and
his
your
colors.
occupation?
My name
Yeah. She
Ooh,
got a
she
lot
got-
going on.
See, I'd have been like, what the fuck why are your glasses covering your hair?
Yo,
It's just
I
covering your
cannot stand
eyes.
when people wear sunglasses inside. That is like a personal.
Yeah, like what?
I hate it.
It's hard for me to see.
Yeah.
I know.
Kisses, Kissies. He is very fine and everything. If he wasn't shitting in the bathroom like that, I would have left with him.
What the fuck did he do? Where did he take a shit? How did she know he shit?
Shitting in the bathroom? Like that? Both of those bathrooms are blowed up. I don't think so. But guess what? He
Holy
ate some Mexican food.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. So the bathrooms in this studio smell bad. And out of the fucking 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, the crew, she knows it was him. And he blew up both bathrooms?
He blew up both of the bathrooms.
This motherfucker did half of the job and was like, it's too bad in here. I gotta go in the other one. What the fuck? What the fuck? This lady has lost
That's
her
probably
mind.
was the problem. Besides that, this nigga fresh than a bitch. Come on, who fucking with him? He took a shit early.
Okay, so he
So
is your
you
type.
don't eat Mexican food?
I love it, but I
Wait a
understand
minute,
it.
that's your first response? You sound like you copped to all of that shit immediately. I'd have been like, wait, hold on. I know if you don't get your she who smelt it, dealt it ass out of here. Fuck, what you blaming me for some shit? You don't have no you got some of that shit we call evidence? Because until you do,
Basically,
these are just
copped to the
bald
whole
assertions. Yeah. What you mean? You don't like Mexican food? It just do something to me when I have too much cheese and beans in the same meal.
Why would you
You and
eat
I would-
Mexican food if it does that to you and you
Right
gonna go
before
on a
you go on
dating
the show. Right. She can smell
Like,
them.
and if it's that bad that you had to blow up 2 different bathrooms, you need to take a shower at this
Right?
point.
You need to go. I mean,
Like,
you got to take
oh
a
my
shower. That's something like that.
Yes.
We can move on. We can move on. No
Okay.
problem. No
I was
problem.
gonna say. Okay, you do have 2 pop balloons. Let's find out why the ladies popped. Your name, your age, and your occupation.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm an occupational therapist and I'm 28.
Okay. And Jasmine, why did you pop your balloon?
He is short. I wanted to hear what you had to say, but you didn't really say much. But you are kind of short. It's not my type, but yeah.
He got
Okay, is
flamed
Jasmine
this
your type?
entire one.
She a little bit tall, but she look good.
Thank
What
you.
is that?
Okay.
Oh my God.
You give us your name, your age, and your occupation.
I'm Nakazi. I'm 31. I'm a QC analyst for a bank and a travel agent.
Okay, and why did you pop your balloon?
My girl needs a bra.
He doesn't follow instructions.
I was gonna say.
Like, I just saw that
Yeah.
little interaction, and I don't know why it irked me just a little bit. But
Hey, don't it look
Yes.
like her? Don't it look like her
But-
dress is slowly choking her to death? Like, come
He's
here,
like
shut the fuck
holding
up.
for dear life over there.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesus.
yeah,
Okay, but is he your type?
he could be. Maybe if I got to know him a little more, maybe. Just off the appearance, yes, I would respond if he approached me, but yeah, that was it.
Okay, is she your type?
I wouldn't say initially,
Is she
but
all right?
based off her answer, she's saying that I don't follow instructions. I don't really get what she's saying.
Look, she's like, you stupid fuck.
I don't see how she came to that conclusion. So, yeah,
Okay.
probably not.
Okay, let's find out why she popped.
Yo,
Your name, your age, and occupation.
Lotto Marie.
Yeehaw.
I'm a comedian, and my age is to be determined. I like his attire, and the first thing I noticed was their watch. I was like, bling bling, and he's a content creator, so I'm thinking he can record me all the time. So I was really feeling like we could really have some chemistry, and I felt like there was a bunch of haters on this side.
I do too.
And I felt like his answers and responses were nice. Like he didn't want to, let him down
really
hardly.
do.
So I appreciated that. But when you said you couldn't understand her, it just reminded me of this dude named Brandon that I had dated, and he was kind of slow. So I just don't want to be back in a situation with a slow person. So if you could have just understood.
Y'all quick to jump to conclusions.
I should call him slow.
I don't know what she meant when she
Jesus.
said he didn't follow instructions either. Like she didn't elaborate on what instructions he didn't follow, and that's why he didn't. This dude is killing me because he's like, okay, I don't get what you meant when you said that I didn't follow instructions. If you wake your ass up, motherfucker, just damn say some
Right,
shit.
he's
I'd be
asleep.
like, hold on. Wait, what do you mean by fire? I need you to elaborate, ma'am. If you can tell me exactly which instructions I didn't follow.
Right,
And
I need
then
you to
she
let me
gave
know
him the
which one it
chance
is.
here on top of it, and she called him slow. And this motherfucker was like, I ain't slow. If you don't get your ass out of here.
would say that
You were slow to give us a
y'all-
better answer.
it's not really much that they asked me to get to my personality or anything like that. Y'all real quick to jump to conclusions, and that's cool.
Yeah, I apologize. I liked the little bun and everything. I thought it was cute. You wrapped all the little hair you had in there.
All
but
the
it
little
just-
hair. She
it
got him
just-
with that little
that slow
backhanded
comment, like you just couldn't come back fast and say something. You was like, I just didn't understand.
But
And
you
I
want
really
me
felt.
it's like you want me to jump on their case.
No, I
and
like
really
the fact
don't
that you
want
was
to.
nice, but I just felt like you could have said
It's hot. It's
something.
like, how is it both?
Hey man,
It don't make sense to me, but that's fine.
I don't know. The color.
It is what it is.
This was cool.
I appreciate
I like your rings too, though.
I appreciate
He gonna throw the microphone.
You was
in
mad
there.
at his bowel movements. I think it's
Yeah, and you was asking me questions before the show even started. Like you went off of something that
Because when the wolf came, I was like, fuck, I
I
should
don't-
too at home. Okay? I didn't.
But his bowels
But I'm
weren't
not
big.
at home.
Like bowel movements.
Wait, so he did shit?
Okay.
Apparently he did. I don't know.
This entire time he has yet to say that was not me. I would have led with that one. Oh, girl was like, I shitted at home. What the fuck?
This whole episode was insane.
Unfortunately, all the
funny.
balloons have been popped.
put me on blast like a fan. But okay.
Well, it was good to have you.
I appreciate it.
He, like you say, he didn't even deny the blowing up the bathroom. He was just like, "Look, you don't like Mexican food."
He like weird world, a lot of smells. Don't know what to tell you, bro. There we go. This motherfucker, he walked out the bathroom right before right before they went out there to start asking, like, present him and shit.
Yeah.
Walked out the bathroom on one of these moves, like,
and then dipped off into the other bathroom.
Yeah, just ran into the other bathroom to try and wear it out. Brought the smell with him. And old girl was like watching him from the side, like, yeah, I got your ass. She's like, give me a balloon and a big ass needle.
But I think we're gonna leave it there for today. I'm gonna try to pull some more of those little segments, because the whole thing could be a long watch, but those little segments are fun to watch.
You talking about the balloon popping?
Yeah, for the ends,
yeah, I'm telling you, they should.
those are
You
fun.
should show Turtle Boy. Oh, have you ever showed the dentist or the doctor or whatever? I'm the doctor.
Oh, Dr. Elam. Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm like a high value man.
Yeah, that guy is.
That dude is 5 seconds away from. He sound like when he's talking, he gonna be like, "Yeah, girl, I just want to let you know that I don't even really need you in part of this. I just got it started already." Like, dude, looks like he about to have sex with himself and shit. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, Dr. Elam. He did a video actually. Me and Miss Parker went over a long time ago. He did a video after the pop the balloons on why he's not doing the pop the balloons anymore, and he kind of salty about the whole situation. It seems like
he feel like he represented himself poorly or some shit.
Well, that they represented him poorly, and then I think also it's because at one point he admitted that he wanted to find multiple girlfriends, and they was like, "Yeah, that's not what this is about." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, what the fuck? He's a weirdo. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this show, and we'll see y'all next week. And hope you guys have a good weekend. I think tomorrow it should be on with BGTV. Hopefully, probably. I don't know, either tomorrow or Sunday. So watch out for that. And yeah, anyway. Midwest, you got anything going on, or you good?
No, I'm still, I'm still working on my shit.
Yeah.
Check me out on TikTok. I still post there. I just posted some shit there the other day where I was, like they had them open verse challenge things. I still fuck around with
Oh,
those.
dope.
So until I can get my album shit straightened. But that and get politically active if you can, because
Local politics.
the American experiment is damn near almost over. We're at the series finale in this bitch. Let's go.
Yo, first, may the odds forever. What is it? May the odds be in your favor, whatever the fuck, however it goes. But good luck on the basketball game tomorrow.
Yeah. We're gonna bring it. Leave it all out on the court.
Y'all got it. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good one. Later.
See ya.